the Super Duper feature update.
What up, Super Squad? I am pumped to talk about the card updates. We have made robust updates. The card editor, it's like cleaning house. It now just looks so fresh and so clean. Let me send it over to Super Steve, talk about all the things that we're doing. Super Steve.
What is up, y'all? Super Steve here, coming in with some updates to our cards and our card editor. We got lots of small and large updates in this, so let's jump right in. One of the first things that we did is improve the styles between what you see in the card and what you see in the editor. So before, it was generally correct, but you'd see some things that didn't quite look right. The spacing was off, maybe the colors were off on like a link. Going forward, this should be like 99% or even fully matched style-wise. Now, in the actual editor, we have lots of small updates. So we have things like, I can select some text and now I can really quickly title case the whole thing if I have a heading that I want to title case. So we added some small things like that, added some improvements to tables. You see little things that we changed along the way. Now, one of the cool things that we added is the ability to do a table of contents. This is actually my favorite small editor update that we did. So let's say I have a heading here. Actually, I already put a table of contents. Delete that. There we go. Let's do another heading, a subheading. Let's do another subheading. Let's go back to another full heading. Now what I can do is I can click this button up here and it will insert a table of contents. Let's go ahead and put so we can actually have that be in our card if we have a longer form content that we want to break down. What that'll actually do is when you click on that, it'll take you to that heading. That's whether you're embedded in a card or in the display here as well. So that's my personal favorite small editor update that we made. Now, one of the big major updates that we did is we have a much better media embed now. So let's say I have a LinkedIn post that I want to put into a card. Boom, it's going to pull that in, and then I can actually click on that, be taken over to LinkedIn. In addition to that, lots of different video support as well. So we have the usual video support that we've done. But let's say we wanted to have a grain or other type of gong or other type of video recordings. That can get brought in as well now. So the last change that got made here is also a better paste system. So if you're pasting in from another source like a Google Doc or another document on the web, now you'll have the option to keep the formatting or lose the formatting. And if you keep it, it should actually be much better than it would be previously when it comes to pasting. Now, let's say I was to not save this card here and I was to leave the page. Typically, we'd say, hey, this card hasn't been saved. What do you want to do? Now, going forward, we actually have a new draft system. So what this will do, let's say I was to make another card. It's not going to be affected at all. But let's say I then go back to that card that I was working on and I go to edit it. It's actually going to prompt me if I want to recover that draft or not. And if I say yes, then it's going to bring that draft in and I have the option to save it. Or if I say no, I can delete that draft or I can save it for later. And then the last change here is that we moved the card triggers that used to be at the bottom here. Really difficult to get to. You had to scroll the whole way down the content. If you had a longer piece, you couldn't necessarily see those. So move that up to the top and it works just like it did before, where you can manage these triggers inside of this display here. And it's just basically moved from the bottom to the top. So that's it for our card editor. We have lots of these small updates, and you'll see some major things as you get in there. I think it's actually really exciting and sort of rounds off this card editor much better than previously. So as always, stay awesome, stay strong, stay super.